going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Celtics come away here with a decent win. Not great, but decent. It's a second in-season tournament win, this one coming against the Toronto Raptors, the final score being 108-105. I say decent, not good or great, because this is the first time this year this team hasn't looked like themselves. But I think the main takeaway here, and it's a positive one, is this team continues to prove it's a different group in crunch time. The two guys leading that charge and spearheading that late game execution was Drew and KP. Tonight was a game that should remove any doubts any Celtics fan has about the moves they made this summer. How many times last season did we see this team crumble in crunch time? How many times did we see them settle for a bad shot? Or just not be able to get the ball in the right guy's hands? It really seems like that's a thing of the past. This team was down 99-101. They put the ball in Drew's hands for three straight possessions, and he made something happen each and every time. He was able to find and create the mismatch for Porzingis to get two fairly easy buckets, and the third one being that nice little skip pass for Derek White in the corner for the three. You know, as a fan, as a biased fan, I guess I just didn't realize how important it is to have that guy, or how much we were lacking that guy. What I mean by that guy is someone who's been there, right? Someone who's been through the war, been in tough situations, been in close games, not gotten rattled, and always continued to make the right play. When this team first initially acquired Drew, I didn't think there was much of a difference in the playmaking department compared to our last guards. And earlier in the episode when I said this game should silence any doubts that any of the fans have, I think I was talking to myself, because man, I was dead wrong. Drew just has a different level of poise about him than we've ever had before in any of our other guards. And I'm just happy he's on our side now. Another positive takeaway is that we shot a lot of threes, right? And I know I've always talked about how, don't know how I feel about it, but I thought the threes that we generated tonight, specifically in that first quarter when they weren't even falling, were all such great looks. I have no problem with the three ball if it's generated off dribble penetration, drives and kicks, and swing passes. I think those are great looks. If this team continues to get those looks, they're going to be tough to beat. Speaking of making great plays, getting great looks and dribble penetration, we're going to talk about, yes, Jaylen Brown. I think his streak of improved playmaking has continued. And do not pay attention to his 3 turnovers. He did a great job early in the game getting to the teeth of the defense, finding Holiday for 2 threes. And we saw it later in the game too, that connection with Porzingis again. The back cut, the alley-oop. He just has a different level of calmness and confidence right now. I think the calmness comes from him still improving as a player and actually getting better as a playmaker, and the confidence comes from being surrounded by supreme talent. I know we talked about KP some already, but let's talk about him a little bit more. I just thought it was a monster game. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. The box score is impressive as it is, but it's the individual plays that stand out the most. Whether it was the block on Grady Dick, or the block on the 4th on Siakam, or the 2 clutch buckets that he provided in the 4th. Honestly speaking, when has this team ever in the history of its franchise ever had a big man this offensively gifted? And more importantly, when have the Jays ever had a look like this? When have they ever had an option that could make life easier for them down the stretch? An option down the stretch that's a solid screener, that could stretch the floor, create mismatches. Each game that goes by proves how much of a luxury KP is and how important he is to this team's success. Let's go to the bench. We'll start with Al. Thought he had a solid game tonight, carried over his play from the previous game, finished with 11 points, hit a few threes. I think he finished 3 for 4 from 3. Made some great reads off the short roll. Hauser keeping his hot streak going. Don't even know if it's a hot streak. It's just probably who he is. 3 for 6 from 3 tonight. Held his own on defense too, which I liked. I really would like to make a YouTube short on Hauser defense highlights, but I think that's such a niche thing that nobody probably cares about. It's just a funny, ironic thing how he continuously is targeted in those ISO matchups, and time again, the players who target him come up short. Some of the negatives from this game, will start with Tatum. Just one of his strange games he tends to have a few times a year. Poor shot selection. I think he finished with 11 3-point attempts, only making 1. I thought Toronto did a good job of loading up whatever side he was on, not letting him get to the basket, because we know what happened last game, and they weren't going to let that happen again, of course. But I thought there were moments where Tatum could have taken advantage of some matchups or found his way to the rim, but I think his early misses from deep kind of affected his energy on the offensive end. And even the energy of the whole team tonight. There were a lot of highs, there were a lot of lows, especially in that third quarter there. The Celtics came out flat, but it's a game of runs, so it's to be expected. Everything can't be perfect all the time. It's just about how you respond, and I thought they responded well tonight. They came out to win, and that's all that matters. You guys know what time it is. We were at that point in the episode where we do our quick hits. Rotation was short tonight. I guess that's to be expected with the top 8 back, but I thought there in that third quarter, when Celtics came out flat and Toronto won that run, I thought we might see an energy guy, O'Shea or Stevens, but nope, Joe didn't push those buttons tonight, and ultimately everything worked out. Next hit is, this is the second in-season tournament game for the Celtics. I don't really know what that means. I don't understand exactly how it works, to be honest. I know there's like a point system or a point differential system. So how many more wins do they need to clinch to the quarters? I'm not sure. You guys let me know in the comments. Speaking of the tournament, the floor, a lot of players are having trouble standing up on this floor. We saw Jalen tonight slip multiple times and have that slip in the last 10 seconds of the game. He came out holding his groin. Hopefully he's okay. Let's do a little Toronto talk. If there's any Toronto fans, comment down below. But I like this version of Toronto we saw tonight. Gritty, physical, no quit in them, not like last time. Dennis Schroeder, a former Celtic. It's nice to see the year that he's having. It just never fails to impress me how he gets his shot off at the rim. He's not an oversized guard. He doesn't have a crazy vertical leap, but he's able to always get there, use his body, find the right angles, and he never gets blocked, it seems. Pascal, I like the game that he had tonight. If he wasn't in foul trouble, the outcome of this game could have been different. He had a little trouble with Drew guarding him tonight, but with guys that he's had a little difficulty with in the past, JT, JB, he handled it pretty well tonight. The Jays aren't slouches in the post. They're big guys, 230, 235, but there were times tonight where Pascal was able to dislodge them, push them 4 feet back, get easy buckets. Overall, a solid performance from Pascal. And I talked about this last time. Any Toronto fans listening, I would love your input. What's the plan for the future? Are OG, Pascal, are those guys you want to resign? Are you sure Scotty's the guy? Do you want to build around Scotty? Personally, I think he is. But what types of players do you want to see the front office put around him? But I'm going to wrap it up right there. Celtics are now 10-2 on the season. With Denver losing tonight, that is officially the best record in the NBA. I'm excited for this team, the way that it's coming together. Looking forward to that Milwaukee game coming up. But anyway, like I said, wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. If not, it's no big deal, but it helps me out a lot. I think we're up to 87 subs. The goal is 100 before next game. Talk to you guys Sunday, November 19th. Memphis, no Marcus Smart, unfortunately. Peace.